Hi, so yeah, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone here. A very warm welcome to From Telco to Techco, the next big shift webinar. I'm Isaac. I'm part of the talent intelligence team here at Circles, and I want to welcome you to this webinar. So we hope we found the video insightful and gain a deeper understanding of Circles. As you can kind of see, Circles is at the forefront of this transformation, leveraging on cutting-edge technology to drive change in the telecom space. Yeah, so before we dive into today's discussion, we are absolutely thrilled to have all of you with us today. So whether you're joining from home, the office, or anywhere in between, we are grateful for your time and interest in this exciting topic. So the webinar will explore one of the most transformative shifts happening in the industry right now as telecommunication companies evolve and embrace the tech landscape. So we'll dive into trends, challenges, and opportunities that are shaping the shift, and we're excited to share some insights with you today. So here's a quick breakdown of how today's webinar will unfold. So firstly, we'll kick things off with an opening address from our CEO, followed by an exciting panel discussion where our experts will dive deeper into their topic. After that, we'll have a Q&A session to address some of your burning questions, and then finally, we'll close with some potential opportunities here at Circles. So do stay tuned for everything. So before we dive in, just a bit of housekeeping. So firstly, we encourage everyone to interact with us through this session. So there is a Q&A function, so you can ask questions and we'll be monitoring this section, and then we'll answer them only in the Q&A. So additionally, we will be opening a poll during the webinar. So let's make this a fun and interactive session. But before that, let's have our opening address from our co-founder and CEO of Circles, Mr. Ramesh, so he can share with us his experience and kick off this session. So Ramesh, please start. Thank you.
So good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see everyone here on this call. Thank you very much for taking the time from your busy schedules to hear us out. There's a very action-packed program I hear. I've seen the agenda myself, and I see some of the people who are going to be sharing. Jesslyn, Sanjay, and Kanan, they're all in here, and they have an exciting agenda for you. So I wanted to kick it off only with a few minutes, taking a few minutes of your time to share a little bit about what is Circles up to, what kind of journey we are on, and just what kind of people we're looking for in general. And I thought that'd be a helpful context in terms of you must have heard something about us online from your friends or anywhere else. So I wanted to provide a little bit of perspective. So with that, if I could click to the next screen. What are we here to do at Circles? I think this is a question that people ask me often, and I always have the same answer to them, which is we're here on a category creation journey. What does that mean? If you look at different industries and along the way, you've seen many instances of an old legacy industry that has been changed by a technology player. Whether you look at transportation, which is moved by people like Grab and Uber, or whether it was, hospitality, if you think about, whether you book your next hotel with Hilton or Airbnb, slowly it's starting to happen in financial services and banking. And as you can clearly see, it's now happening in telco. And the only thing I wanted to say is that we're leading that change in telco. And it's not just us, but many large telcos that have come together to make that point, because it's a movement happening. It's a movement that says the old legacy world is dead and the new world is here. And the new world is digital. That new world requires different kind of technology. That new world requires a different kind of customer experience that you need to provide to your users. And in that way, you actually can change not just a customer experience for customers, you can actually change the performance of the telco operators themselves, because it is still one of the top 10 industries by revenue, and also one of the most important industries in the world, because as you know, everyone has to connect with it as you go along. So that's the journey we're on. We call it the category creating journey. And it's not uncommon for other industries, but just nobody's dared to do it in telco. And we've just been on it for the last 10 years. And finally, we've made a mark where the world accepts us as one of the most leading players in this and changing it using technology. Next slide, please. So The second question most people ask me is about, what kind of journey is this and what kind of people succeed here? And when I think about that, I have these three things to say to them. Well, think of this as, of course, it's a growth company, it's growing very fast. And, I'm sure some of you have been part in growth journeys. Growth journeys are like climbing Mount Everest. And, climbing out Mount Everest is not easy. It's super hard. For those of you who might have tried or done it or thought about it, you can imagine how it is. And the thing I tell people is you have to be sure you like mountain climbing, because if you don't like mountain climbing, don't do mountain climbing. And so for me, this is an invitation to those people who love to be on road journeys. But this is a special one. So if you look at the picture in a second, this is not climbing Mount Everest for the first time, because we're actually leading the innovation in this industry, which means we're not sure how to get there either, which means we're going to figure things out differently, which means we're going to work differently. We're going to have to take risks. We're going to have to fail a lot. We're going to have to try different ways. This is not like somebody's climbed Mount Everest 100 times, so they're going to tell us how to do it. So for this thing, we need to really figure out, work together with teams, take risks, take on bold targets, even if it means we'll fail. And that's an important constituent of people that are successful in. And the third one is really, we need to be doing this for impact. We need to be doing this to make a big difference. We need to be wanting to do something differently. And for that, we need to come together as a team and say, look, I care about making an impact. I care about actually this whole thing. I want to make a point and I want to be part of something big that's happening. Now, what does that mean for someone who's on the journey or who've been on the journey with us? Well, it means many things. Sometimes it means it's not so easy. Sometimes it means you will fail, even though you've always succeeded in your careers. And it means that you'll recover from it and you'll do things that you'll always remember, because it'll give you the most memorable experiences. So often I tell people it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be memorable. And that is why I think that for most people who are good, what they're looking for is great growth journeys. And the one thing that I can always promise you, that if you're part of this journey, you'll always get the greatest growth. You'll always talk about the greatest times. It was really difficult. Everyone thought it was hard, but you made it work. So here's an invitation to the journey. And I hope you guys learn about what we're doing actually in the telco industry and generally in the market, and how we're bringing a change. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you, Ramesh, for your wonderful opening address. Now let's take a moment to welcome our esteemed panelists. So I'd like to invite them to introduce themselves a bit more and share a bit more about their background. But I think to give you guys a little context to how global Circles is, all of them are calling from different countries. So Kanan is calling from Singapore, Sanjay is calling from Dubai, and Jacelyn is actually calling from Australia. So I'll hand over the time to them. Maybe Kanan, could you kick us off with your introduction? Kanan, so sorry, I think you're muted.
Yeah, sorry about that, Isaac. Thank you. Actually, I was in Jakarta this morning, Isaac, and just came to Singapore, working with one of our esteemed customers. Look, happy to be here. Welcome, everybody. My name is Kanan Alagapan, the CTO at Circles. I've been here as CTO for about a year, and all I can tell you guys is we are on a rocket ship, right? It's an exciting day. Every day there is new problems to solve. We come here. I want to share my background. So I've been in the industry for 30 some years, mostly as an operator. I was a founding member of the Reliance Jio team in India. We launched in 2014-15. I was part of Jio. I've also led teams at Telstra as CTO. Most recently, before coming to Circles, I was CTO at Dish Network in the US. And I spent quite a bit of my career as working for CSG, one of the BSS OSS providers back in the day. So a lot of background. I'm so happy to be here because truly Circles is changing the industry. And I have my esteemed colleagues Sanjay and Jacelyn who will also talk about what we're doing here at Circles. I'm looking forward to spending the next 45 minutes with all of you. Over to you, Sanjay.
Hey, thanks, Kanan. As I was introduced, I am the Chief Revenue Officer. I came here about 5 months ago. And I've been in the industry for 30 plus years, and my career ran in, I call it take one, take two, take three. The first 8 years was a management consultant. So I was focused on telco domain, setting up telcos from scratch and moving on to the next project. So first 8 years was like that with BD Consulting and Telia back in Europe. And the second take was with the vendors, first 15 years with Ericsson. And in that journey, you can break that into 3 year spells. So 3 year in 5 different countries. So worked around the globe, London, Malaysia, Sweden, South Africa, India. And before joining Circles, for last 10 years, I've been part of Cisco, and last 6.5 years, I was the president for their service provider business in APJC. So that's my background and why I'm here, because like Rami's laid out to you, I wanted thrill in life again, and here is something that's groundbreaking. This industry is old and is being grounded in traditions, but as the world goes, I think we need to break it and make it agile. You remember how Uber changed the transport industry. I believe Circles is poised to change the telco industry, and clearly, what we are bringing to the industry is refreshing. And I'm so happy to be here, part of this journey, and I welcome you all to explore. And we're excited that many of you have decided to be with us, and please ask us a lot of questions. We're here for you. Thank you very much.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Jaslyn. I'm the general counsel here at Circles. I've only been here for about 6 months, actually. So I think I'm one of the sort of more newer members of Circles. I'm also pretty new to the telco industry, unlike Sanjay and probably Kanan. So I'm a lawyer by training. So I started my career traditionally in a law firm. And somewhere along the way, I transitioned in-house and into the tech industry. So I found my way there just because it was exciting, right? Working in startups and in tech. So I started my in-house career in gaming. So I worked for a couple of gaming companies. Then I moved on to Food Panda, food delivery. And then, Circles. I guess I think to join Circles, I think as Rami's mentioned, I think you must be someone who actually enjoys challenges. And I'd add also maybe have a little bit of a sadistic bent. There's never a dull day here, but it is very challenging, actually. I think you'll hear more as we progress, but thank you for taking the time to join us. So happy to have all of you here.
Yeah, thank you guys all so much for your lovely introductions. So now we've heard a bit more about you guys, so let's dive into our first topic. So why AI, automation, and the digital experience will define the next decade. So as you know, as we navigate this digital first era, the role of AI, automation, and seamless digital experiences is becoming so crucial. So let's start by exploring how these technologies are reshaping the industry and what it means for the future of Techcos. So let's start with you, Kanan. So in your view, what is the single biggest way AI is currently reshaping the customer experience in telcos, and why is this so significant?
Yeah, great question. Is AI really happening? I'll start off with just a recent experience about a week and a half ago. Sanjay and I, along with the rest of the leaders, we were at the Mobile World Conference in Barcelona, one of the premier esteemed conference. And Sanjay, you can vouch for this. There was nothing but AI, 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 right? So, and I've been hearing about, I'm a computer science major, and I took an AI course about 30 years ago when everything was textbook. And you couldn't really make anything out of it because we didn't have the compute power that is necessary to do the necessary processing. But if you look at the last 10 years and how AI has evolved, and I remember sitting in a panel of CIOs, CTOs 10 years ago, where the concepts itself was not very well understood, right? So it felt like deep tech. Now, fast forward 5 years, and now it's real. And you see it everywhere. You see it in the way you live your life, you see it in the way you consume apps. And I think most people have seen it from a digital experience perspective when you use your apps such as Netflix or Amazon Prime, even your banking applications. Everything is personalized, right? So when you think of telcos, um, not really there. And I'll share a very recent example of engaging with, I'm originally from the US. I needed to cancel my service and I had a family plan. They didn't really know anything about me or my family. And I've been a customer for 26 years. Um, and there's so much of data that's available out there that can be leveraged. And hyper personalization is one of the things that we at Circles are really taking advantage of to serve you better, whether it's offering you a plan or the platform is able to do all those, and we're able to churn out these models very fast, very quickly to enable us to provide a very seamless experience. Now you extend that to automation, you can think about running operations with a very lean team, which is also possible on our Circles platform, and so on and so forth. So to me, it is real, and we are experiencing it today. And then our platform in and of itself has got that ability to change the game to take us from the very topic of the day, which is telco to techco.
Yeah, thank you, Kanan. So maybe let me ask Sanjay as well. So how do you think AI and automation plays a crucial role in, let's say, customer acquisition and revenue generation? Sorry, Sanjay, I think you are muted right now.
All right, so I restart. No, I think for starters, I think for everyone that's on the call, you have to understand that Circles was born digital. This company got formed about 10 plus years, and everything that we've crafted here is digital in nature. So AI automation is central to everything that we have crafted in terms of platform, the sense that Kanan was giving you earlier. So, and these are important ingredients to, create seamless onboarding. When telcos have to connect a new customer to their network, with these tools, you can make that experience very seamless, and onboarding is key. When you join a telco, how quickly, how efficiently you are onboarded sounds trivial, but is a very, very important experience for onboarding the customer. The second and most important thing is, how do you personalize and tailor the experience for a consumer? Most of you on this call, I can sense, are very savvy digital users. You do not have time to sit in the call center queues and ask telcos questions about what you need, how you need it. So this foundation of AI and automation kind of enables personalization and tailored experience. We are in a world where every consumer, all of you who are using mobile services, are a segment. We call it segment of one. So the system, telco, must be able to understand what are your specific needs, your specific wants, and be able to cater to those. And then lastly, we need to leverage the data that you're providing, because every time you connect with a mobile, you're surfing, you're experiencing apps, games, all of that provide insights to the telco. And this platform, which is enabled by AI automation, gives the ability to the telco to understand what you need, when you need it, tailor their offers to your specific needs. And I think that's what really AI does for you as an end consumer. So our mission as a company is to give power back to the consumers, because when we do that, we're actually empowering telco as businesses. So I think, Isaac, that's what I believe this AI foundation provides to the telcos.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sanjay. I think maybe let's move on to Jaslyn, and in a sense, looking at it from the legal and regulatory perspective. So could you share your thoughts on the key legal considerations and maybe compliance risk do you see becoming more significant as automation and AI become integral in telco operations? Jaslyn, so sorry, I think you're also muted as well.
Sorry about that.
Because you asked us to, man.
Yeah, to be fair, Isaac, you did tell us to mute ourselves, but yeah, no. But to answer your question, though, I mean, as a lawyer, one of the greatest concerns is ensuring that the company runs, we don't get sued, nobody goes to jail, etc., and compliance, with complex legal and regulatory frameworks, right? So, Sanjay mentioned data. Quite a number of times. So operating a digital platform and an app, you can imagine the amount of data that we process, right? So top of mind, with the automation and AI becoming integral to telco operations, is really data protection and privacy. So that's going to become, it has become like an important component for a lot of companies, but it's also going to become even more important as we progress, as automation and AI adoption grows. So data protection, privacy regulations, data storage, data transfers, cybersecurity, managing users, consent, etc. And then to top that all off, I think Circles operates across different countries, different regions. So there isn't a unified legal framework across all of these countries. So we also have to deal with that going forward. And I think that's something that the cross-border aspect of it is something that we need to be mindful of. And related to that is also safeguarding user data, right? So with all of the data that we're managing, quite a bunch of it is also sensitive data, by which what I mean is you can identify a customer from that data that we have. So how do we actually safeguard that data? How do we store it? Those are actually significant challenges actually going forward, keeping data secure.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jaslyn. Yeah, do remember, I did tell you guys to be muted. Do remember to unmute yourself next time as well. I think that is so important. But now we'll actually move on to the heart of today's conversation. But before that, let's do a quick poll, and then we'll do a rapid fire round as well for the panelists. So for our participants on the call, please submit your poll answers by clicking on poll and quiz button on the left at the bottom of the live stream, and then you can start polling. I can see some of you are already starting to poll. And then for our panelists, I think we'll do some quick fire round where we ask you some questions. So I think the first question I'll ask you is, in one word, describe telco to techco. Let's start off with Jaslyn.
Yeah, for each of myself. Innovation.
Innovation. Sanjay, what about you?
So you are truly transformation is the word, and that's what telcos need.
Okay, and lastly, Kanan, what's your one word?
The ultimate customer satisfaction.
Okay,
that's a good one.
That's some nice question. Okay, so next question, what do you think? Let's start with you, Kanan.
Biggest myth, it's easy to implement. Not that easy.
Sanjay, what about you?
So, renewal, because SaaS businesses looks like, you get the deal and you renew every year. But I think you have to continuously add value to the business to be able to get the renewal. So the word was renewal.
And Jacelyn?
For me, it's scalability.
That's a good one.
Okay, and the last quick question is the best thing about working with leading telcos at Circles?
Exciting challenges every day.
For me, it's the hustle that I love, climbing the, rock climbing. Energizes you every day. Hustle is the word.
Growth for me.
Okay, thank you all so much. It seems like most people have polled. It seems like one of the people believe the biggest challenge in the telco to techco transformation is actually shifting the business model from traditional to digital first. So I think with that, it kind of leads to our next point of how Circles is actually leading the change in transforming telcos to techcos in some of the biggest players globally. So as the landscape continues to shift, it's important to understand how companies are adopting new technologies and approaches to stay ahead. So this is where Circles actually come in helping telcos transform seamlessly into digital world. I think again, to start things off, maybe as I have Kanan again, could you dive into how Circles is actually using the cloud native architecture to power its transformation?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Sanjay mentioned this earlier, right? We're a digital first company. I would say digital native company. And the first principles that we adopted is everything that we do is about customer service, NPS, and removing all the physical touch points. With our platform, it's born digital, cloud native. It runs on any cloud. And as a result, the agility that we see in the platform is it's unheard of in the industry. I'll share a few examples where we launched a new telco in another part of the world in 4.5 months, right? So I was amazed with what the platform can do. And it's what's unique about Circles is not just the platform, but what we add on top of it in terms of defining the value proposition for the customers jointly and enabling them to kickstart the business. Once we get that going after the launch, um, the platform also provides the ability to quickly iterate, launch new plans, new services, digital memberships, like unheard of in the industry. Where you bring up your app and you're able to order Uber or even subscribe to a OTT service, right? So these sort of things we were able to quickly test and learn. The platform provides that capability. Now, we have certain events. You want to do a flash sale and have some e-commerce type sales, can do that on the platform as well. So Bond Digital platform is immensely scalable because it runs on any cloud and it's built that way. It's basically a collection of microservices that we have built over the years. Being an operator, we have learned a lot, right? So in terms of understanding the problem statements and how to approach customers, and we've built those and we have solved those problems 10x better with our cloud native platform.
So yeah, thank you so much for that, Kanan. Let's turn to Sanjay. So how are we ensuring that the SaaS business model is scalable and enabling actually long-term growth, which is what Circles and our customers want? Sanjay, you're muted again.
All right, I restart. I mean, if you look at the industry today, telco industry, I think all of you that are listening in are the users of a mobile service. So I think it's the traditional way of running it is, you have an offer that's defined to you upfront. You go pick it up, and it's like static, stationary. But the world we live in is, as Kanan was mentioning, digital native. We want immersive experiences. We want everything to tune to our wants and needs. So that's kind of one big aspect. The second one is the scalability. I don't want to. I mean, traditionally, I was for many years doing that, building companies, telcos from scratch. I think you have a lot of huge upfront investment, and then you hope that customers will come in and you'll get returns. So typically 7 to 8, 10 years of return on investment. I mean, those are sluggish business models, that's not very attractive for investors, right? So I think if I pick those two as key problems, what we are trying to do I would call us as a disruptor, innovator. We're trying to solve for some of this. Our revenue model is built for scalability. You come in, we don't actually provide the technology. We offer the partnership. So it's a true partnership where we sign into crafting the business model, and then we sign into the business case, which means when we are coming in, we're putting skin in the game, and we're growing with you, and we are ensuring along the process that you're doing the right things to give power back to the consumer, so they're engaged, they're motivated, they're compelled, and they find fun to be with you, because that's what's going to give you longevity, and that's what is going to give you more revenues from these consumers. I think so. So that's kind of second piece that we bring to the action. Third one is, bringing in a customer, giving him the right experience, but also making sure that you're retaining that customer, right? So what we are doing, what our platform is enabling is, it's not just traditional connectivity. We bring in connectivity. We have capabilities in our platform or solution which works on creating delight for you. I said we are all becoming Gen Ds, or the digitally savvy users. So we're giving you gamification experience. As Kanan was saying, now you don't have to move out of our app. You can now start doing e-commerce, buying stuff, playing games. So we continuously keep end consumers motivated and energized. And more you're on a mobile phone and the app, more you're spending with the telco. I think so. It absolutely brings in, great experience for the end users, but also great things for our customers, which are telcos, right? So yeah, this is how we're helping telcos to transform. We're acting as a true enabler for them to dare to become techcos and give them the reason to sort of take on this journey. Because for me, for a telco to become techco, it is like walking 8 planets of the universe. So it's not easy. You have to go tick the digital attributes as you pass from planet 1 to planet 2 to planet 8. And that needs a specialized partner. I think we just staying humble. I think we truly are that nimble, innovative partner for telcos.
Yeah, thanks so much for that, Sanjay. I guess now with Circles essentially building something like a super app, and we are changing from a telco to a techco. So this involves quite a lot of, I guess, complex legal issues, and it's a complex legal landscape. So Jason, could you share with us some insights on some of the legal challenges that Circles overcame, or the industry kind of needs to overcome?
Yeah, sure. I think I've already touched on this in my earlier sort of sharing or response, but yeah, navigating complex legal frameworks and regulations is something that we've had to do simply because of the number of cross-border partnerships that we've entered into, right? And scaling our SaaS platform or solution across multiple regions. So with that, each region has its own peculiar frameworks. Yeah, that's been pretty challenging to navigate actually for us. And as a startup, we have limited resources. So yeah, we've had to ensure compliance with data privacy. I mentioned licensing as well, and other regulations which are critical for operating a global SaaS business. So maybe elaborating a little bit on the data privacy and security part of our business or of what we do. I mentioned data and how much we're processing, and as a platform, we need to ensure that data remains secure, and it's stored securely, is transferred securely. So we have a lot of data privacy policies and also protocols that are integral to the platform that we built, right? So I think the teams, I speak for tech and product, but Kanan maybe chime in. So tech product, we work with InfoSec, regulatory team, and the legal team, of course, to put in place very stringent data protection policies and measures. So we include encryption and access control as well. Yeah, just to ensure that we keep the sensitive customer data secure. And then
Yeah,
we also
look,
yeah, go ahead.
I'd certainly like to chime in here. It's a very important topic. Any prospect or a customer we talk to, they care about the customer's data. And the first question is, how are you protecting it? So, we work very closely with different regulatory authorities along with our legal team to ensure that we understand the laws, right? And we have policies in place to protect the data. Encryption is one that we take very seriously, both in transit as well as rest. We also try to understand, what are the local laws and how do we ensure that, if the data is needed from just from a regulatory perspective, whoever needs access to that are able to get access to the data, but we also protect access from a security controls perspective. So it's a partnership. We always get surprised, and sometimes we learn new things and we keep improving.
So Tanya,
Yeah.
I think, yeah,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead,
Isaac.
Jason.
No, I'm done. I was just going to add that in Circles, we don't work in silos. So like Hannah was mentioning, it really is a partnership internally as well as externally. So it's we need to work with different functions basically to ensure that we keep things secure.
Yeah, thanks so much for that. I definitely can see that all of us work together. I think even for me, right, I'm in the people and culture team here, but I've worked with people from tech, legal, revenue. We all work together to ensure the growth and sustainability of our company. So I guess moving on to the bigger picture or broader picture, let's explore what it takes to really thrive in this digital era. So for me, it's about adapting to a fast-paced environment, embracing new ways of working and learning and growing. So Kanan, for you, as someone who has navigated some of these changes, what do you believe are the key qualities and strategies that individuals and organizations need to succeed in today's tech-driven world?
Yeah, this is my favorite question, Isaac, and one that I really think about a lot and love is to be digital first. First is, as a leader, you have to have an open mindset and have this continuous, have this amazing appetite to keep learning, right? So I tell my teams and everybody, you have to be curious, right? You have to be curious about there's immense amount of data, and the data is telling us something about a journey or it could be an onboarding journey or an engagement journey, whatever it might be. The data is telling us a lot. What happens in organizations, sometimes they become stale, they get comfortable. You have to keep challenging yourself. we have to learn and acquire new skills. Obviously, big transition from cloud native to AI native. So we are in the process of rebooting ourselves, where we're thinking about AI and everything that we do from an innovation standpoint, AI infused in our product development, AI infused in engineering practices, whether it be testing or development or operations, where there's a lot going on with agentic AI, right? So the spectrum has changed from these assistants to agents working together. So how do we reskill the organization to get there? And that's paramount for me. Then we do a lot of hackathons around here at Circles. People love hackathons, right? That sort of drives innovation. A lot of product ideas have really come from that too. So there's constant appetite, and we learn from our customers teach us a lot, right? So we have global customers, 16 countries, customers in different shapes and sizes, and we learn from them, and we're also operators. So with all this, we're dealing with a huge amount of data. And industry collaboration is something that we're thinking about, is how can we reshape the industry to help change and disrupt where we are going. So, and the one thing, if I want to say, is to be digital first, you have to have that digital first thinking and mindset. And as a leader, you got to be able to navigate and lead the organization through it.
Yeah, thanks, Kannan, for the insight. So now, Sanjay, so as we shift the focus, could you share with us your perspectives on strategies that revenue professionals and people within the sales side should adopt to thrive in this environment?
Yeah, I think I agree with everything Kannan laid out. I think, gone are the days when you say, oh, I have 20 years of experience, because our industry is changing so fast, so quick. The first one is you have to unlearn and learn every day. Never have this belief that I have nailed it, I know everything. So start every day with a fresh mindset, with the lid open on your head, so you can absorb everything that's happening. So that's kind of number one. Number two, you have to be very customer focused. You have to understand every day finding ways to make that customer successful, because customer success is ultimately your success. And when I say customer, it could be your internal customer, depending on kind of the role you're playing in the organization. But for salespeople or revenue generating people, whether you are sales or customer success or any other role for that matter, you have to challenge yourself every day and see, how am I creating value? And typically to my team, I say, remember three things. First, I say, be bold. Be bold is challenge the status quo. Question even your customer if you feel there's an opportunity they're missing, right? Be bold in terms of challenging your own internal colleagues. If you're dealing with engineering or delivery, make sure they're bringing best to your customers, right? Second one is be collaborative, because if you go alone to try to win, you can go to a certain distance. But if you have the entire machine with you, engineering, product management, delivery, finance, you can go far. You're the true winner. So that's the collaborative piece. And the third one is be the best, because before even seeing a customer CEO or a CXO, make sure you have read their quarterly report, you understand the challenges they're facing, because you practically have 20 seconds to make the first impression. So those are the three things: be bold, be collaborative, and be the best. Is what's needed to be successful here. And you have to always, as I said, unlearn and learn and be value creating.
Yeah, thanks so much, Sanjay. So here's to Jaislyn. Yeah, as you know, businesses adapt to this shift. And so what are some of the key considerations that companies should keep in mind to ensure smooth operation and maintain trust while navigating new challenges?
Yeah, so in this digital first era and with this transformation, it's important for companies and also employees, right, to remain flexible and adaptable. Yeah. So as technology just evolves so quickly, it's important that we continue to adapt as well, just as quickly. So working and delivering solutions flexibly, and adapting to the various challenges that you'll inevitably encounter along the way. Like Ramesh mentioned, scaling Mount Everest, right? There's lots of hurdles, challenges every day. So adjusting your approach to tackle new issues that come into play, very important. New challenges such as like AI regulations, data protection, privacy, cross-border data management and transfers, etc. Yeah, so being flexible also means adapting to ensure that the business has sufficient support such that it can scale quickly and smoothly without any blockers. I'm speaking from the legal perspective here. So people always view legal as a blocker, but it's important for legal not to be. So being very nimble and flexible in thinking and coming up with creative solutions. Another point would be in a digital first era, companies really need to adopt a proactive approach to risk management. With all of the technology evolving so quickly, inevitably there are new challenges and therefore new risks as well that need to be managed, I would say even on a daily basis. So it's important to anticipate and mitigate any legal or regulatory or general risks in conducting business. So key to that would be understanding the rapid changes that are taking place, ensuring that we remain up to date with regulations, laws, and therefore the platform remains compliant and secure.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I think to wrap things up, we just want to ask one little fun question. So, yeah, we're gonna ask, so what is your favorite memory about being in Circle? So let me share mine first, I guess. So for me, my favorite memory was actually the year-end party that we had last year. So we went out, we had a sharing a town hall first about what the company is doing, how we are progressing, how we are doing better, and then we went out and then we had some fun near the office at a nice bar, and then we had some games, and then yeah, it was a very good experience. So what about you guys? What do you think is your favorite memory in Circle so far?
Sanjay, you want to go first?
Yeah, if you tell me to. For me, I'm a sales guy, right? So I think I wouldn't name the customer. We were talking to a customer in Southeast Asia, who ordered a particular solution from us. And I mean, since he has, in past working with traditional vendors, he knew that it's going to take at least 12 months before he sees light at the end of the tunnel. And we deployed the whole thing in 4 weeks, and we had integrated our solution into their frontline app. And when the customer was expressing that feeling, and I saw true delight on his face, was one of my favorite moments while at Circles.
I'll go next. For me, when we launched one of our customers in North America, this was done in record time. Never done in the industry before. And I just started at Circles, so didn't really know what I was getting into. But as soon as we went to town, we got that done, and it was a great launch. Really proud moment for me and the team that worked on it. And there are many such moments that happens frequently at Circles.
Yeah, I don't really have a favorite moment, but I think what I enjoy about working in circles is really the daily interactions with my colleagues who are super fantastic. So shout out to my team. The legal team is fantastic, by the way. Um, but yeah, I really enjoy interacting with my team, with other colleagues, working alongside them, and really collaborating and working on finding solutions. Yeah, to problems, right, that we face. So I think that makes and when you have collaborative colleagues who are really good at what they do as well, it just makes life and the challenges a lot easier. So it makes the burden a lot easier to bear.
Okay, thank you all for your wonderful thoughts and perspectives. So it is clear that the shift to the digital first world presents both exciting and challenging opportunities. Like what you guys said, we're climbing a mountain. But now we'd like to open the questions to the floor. So our audience have already asked some questions on the chat. So let me see some of the questions that they have. Okay, so the first question is for Sanjay. So I'm Chanda, based out of Dubai. I came across Circles when leading a project to offer personalized embedded solutions to consumers. I have been fascinated by your vision since then. What are Circles' growth plans for the Gulf, MENA region? What will be the primary offerings given that the market is quite different from APAC? So Sanjay, over to you.
That's a great question. Thank you for the question, Chander. So we have opened our office in Dubai. In fact, our leader for EMEA region sits out of Dubai because we believe the offering that we have for the market is very conducive for all the clients of different shapes and forms in Middle East and Africa. So Aisha Rashid is the name of the leader. She's our VP and GM for the region, and right now building up a team. So I think as you mentioned, the vision is fascinating and it resonates with most of our clients, and I think we are really now fully committed and launching. And I mean, Atisalat EN Group is already our flagship customer, but we hope to take this technology to many more in the region. And as you would know, number of global or Africa, Middle East telcos are now putting their headquarters in Dubai. So Dubai is our base, and from here, I think we're going to serve all the customers in the region.
Thanks, Sanjay. Chanda, I hope your question was answered. Next question is for Kanan. So how has agentic AI or Gen AI been impacting telco operations? What challenges do telecom companies face when integrating AI-driven automation, and how does Circles help them overcome these barriers?
Great question. I'll start with our own experience. So we have adopted, we've been using AI, like I said before, in our development practices as well as operations in improving things. Today, when you look at the general landscape in the industry, the operations is very reactive, right? So something has happened, and then you respond to that. What we want to do is be very proactive, understand what is happening to our systems and applications and user experience. There's mounts of data, like I said before, and we want to use that data to understand patterns, recognize patterns, and then use that data to drive decisions. Now, all of this have become, it is becoming more ubiquitous with agentic AI. The world has moved from assistants to single agents to multiple agents, multimodal agents working together to solve a problem. We are doing some very interesting things to enable better operations from a customer service perspective. The journey that we have gone through is, first is um, you need to understand the problem and how to apply this technology. That's the easy bit. but how do you correlate the data across different systems to make sense of what you have in front of you? It was quite a bit of a challenge when we were trying to solve a very particular problem in this space. So we went through a bit of a learning curve. Now we have a model and a solution that other teams are adopting. And now we're thinking about using platforms to make this development a lot easier. So I think that, we are helping our customers, we are learning from our customers. And I think it really comes down to a few things: open mindset, leverage the data, use models that are already out there, and try not to reinvent the wheel. Get some quick wins. And once you get that, it creates a flywheel effect.
Thanks so much, Kanan. And then a question to Jason. So, as Circles expands globally, what are the biggest regulatory and compliance challenges you foresee in the telco to techco transition? You've mentioned data privacy and cybersecurity. How is the company navigating them?
Thanks, Isaac. I think I may already have answered this, but yeah, with policies and also protocols that we have, and also stringent encryption and access control as well.
Okay, thank you all for the questions. Some of the questions we'll answer offline as well, due to the time. So yeah. Now, before we want to wrap up, we would like actually take a moment to share with you a bit more about the opportunities at Circle. So yeah, if you are passionate about innovation and want to be part of the transformation of telco to techco, there's a QR code that will take you to our careers page where you can browse open roles and learn more about what it's like to work with us. So let me just give you a few minutes to scan this QR code. Yeah. So before we do say goodbye as well, we would love to hear your thoughts. So your feedback is incredibly valuable to us. So do take a moment to fill up the brief feedback form. So simply scan the QR code on the screen and it'll take you to the form. Similarly, if you need the tiny URL link is below, feel free to type that in to fill it up. So if you are inspired by today's discussion and want to explore opportunities to join Circle, you can actually express your interest through the same form. So we are always looking for passionate and talented individuals to be part of our journey. So again, thank you for being part of today's webinar. We appreciate your time and engagement. Thank you to our 3 panelists as well. Like I said, they are coming from all over the globe, answering your questions and speaking to us. So we are really grateful for this. And we hope to connect you, all of you soon. So have a great rest of the day or night or wherever you are, and feel free to drop off the call once you guys done up the feedback form. So yeah, thank you all.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yep, thanks
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, everybody.